All right. Hello, all you snowboarders of the internet. Welcome to the Friday, October 25th morning live stream. We will be doing Angry Late Night at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tonight. So if you've never tuned in for Angry Late Night, it's always a fun time. I'm going to tell the story about how I made a fat skier kid piss himself one time. So if you haven't caught that, be sure to check it out. Right now, we're going to start taking questions here in a minute, but just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up of what's going on. The Angry Snowboarder store will have a limited run drop coming out next month just in time for Black Friday, which means it'll ship and get there just in time for Christmas. It's going to be a very small run of stuff in there, but we will be doing that. Let's see. November 7th is Locals Appreciation Day at my local snowboard shop, Underground Snowboards here in Breckenridge. 20% off every new thing in the store. They have a lot of stuff that you can't get online. So if you're coming up for opening weekend for Breckenridge, be sure to swing in. There will also be a movie premiere at the Breckenridge Distillery following that. And if anyone needs any boot fitting help, reach out to me because I'll be free that day and I can come by the shop and do some boot fitting work on your boots or help you get fitted for boots in the shop. So if you need that, I'll definitely be there. Also, there's a new episode of Can Kevin Carve It today. Hopefully some of you have been able to catch that. Like I said, it's going to be a slow burn through the season. There's 12 episodes, so there's 10 more after this. So it's just going to be really slow until we get to the weird fucked up shit that he rode that almost killed him. So hopefully some of you will be able to hang in there because when you get to the end of the season, it's when it gets really good. So it's like a season of Breaking Bad. It's just a slow build to the very end of that. Also, later today, there will be a new audio podcast dropping on Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play, stuff like that. It'll be up on the website as well. So there'll be a link on our social media for that. So you'll be able to check that out if you want to hear Kevin and I talk about a bunch of stupid snowboard inventions. I think we talk about a new strap-in, step-out binding, a leash that elevates your board when you're on the chairlift, which I've talked shit on that before, an augmented reality helmet that looks like a reject from Top Gun. So, yeah, if you guys want to check that out, then there'll be the podcast. If anyone has any questions, throw them over in the chat box now. Start getting into that. Otherwise, right now it's been snowing up here in Colorado. We got about 2 feet of snow already this week, and there's 4 more days of snow. So if you're planning on getting some early season riding, you just got that itch, definitely Colorado is the place to check out. Let's see what else is going on with that. Oh, snowboard binding reviews those will be dropping sometime next month. There should be about 30 to 35 of them. So if you've been looking for binding reviews from us, they will be coming out. Let's see. Blah, blah. Leash that elevates your board. Just use your foot or deal with it. It's exactly what I said. That's what I said about this little leash retractable thing. I don't know. Maybe the guy who was autoerotic asphyxiating himself on the chairlift with it. I don't feel like that's the only reason anyone would actually need a leash that like retracts from their binding and hooks onto the safety bar. It just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Like you hook it on and then you've got the restraint bar down and you forget and you throw it up and then your legs and you get pulled and you're hanging upside down and then someone takes a photo of you and you cry on the internet. So yeah. Also, for any of you guys that are European that shop online, Blue Tomato, which is one of our affiliates, is having a 15% off their outlet sale if you use the discount code Halloween, and that's good, I think, until the end of the month. So if you're looking for a board, something that's discounted, you can get an additional 15% off their stuff in their outlet if you use the promo code Halloween. There will be a link in the bottom of this video at the end of it, so you can click that, because I know a bunch of you Euro guys were complaining we didn't have enough Euro affiliates, so we're getting there, so you'll be able to buy through some of those shop. So, yeah. Harume, yo, Angry on the binding topic. I know you hated the old Atlas. Have you gotten a chance to try the new ones? Just got a pair at a decent price for my sushi. I have not. The George Kleckner from Union, he and I have been talking about getting some stuff. I think it's just a chaotic time for them because stuff's been arriving. But the Atlas was one of the ones I wanted to ride. The new, the Force, Felcor, STR, and there's that new ultra lightweight one that they've got with the carbon high back. So I'm hoping I can get 5 of them from them. If I can't, I have to wait till Copper opens. And Dylan Larney, the manager at Gravity, said he could probably work a deal where I'm demoing stuff from them. So hopefully that would be Good. Let's see. We got $4.99 super chat from Ryan Kess. Thanks, Ryan. Let's see. James D. Avran, we are heading to Colorado this December. We want to have a blast. Which resort do you recommend for base icon pass holders? Okay, so base icon, I think you only get 5 days at Steamboat with that, and there's probably blackouts. But if you get a chance, Steamboat. Otherwise, if you want to be more centrally located, come to Copper Mountain. That'll be fun. And then if you want to take a day excursion over to the Aspen Mountains, you can do that because from Copper to Aspen, if the roads are clear, you can make it in about an hour, hour and 15, depending how slow you drive and that. I mean, my record is about an hour from there, but I also drive at 120 miles an hour everywhere I go. Plus, you also got Winter Park a little more east. So Copper would centrally locate you. So Steamboat would be about an hour and a half north, Aspen about an hour, hour and a half west, and Winter Park would be about 45 minutes east. So that would give you a good breakup of where you need to go. Plus, Copper is just a fucking rad mountain. And with the amount of snow we've gotten here with their snowmaking, they're going to have a ton of terrain open. So hopefully that answers your questions. Let's see what we got here. Sean Sheelan, when I fly out to Denver for my first trip, I'm stopping to get a new board. Any shops you would recommend? Well, depending when your trip is, if you're going to be out here on November 7th, come to the Underground in Breckenridge, Colorado. They're having their Locals Appreciation Day sale, which is 20% off everything that's new in the store. And they have a lot of stuff that you can't get online. Otherwise, if you're looking for the biggest selection, Mountain Sports Outlet in Summit County, Evo in Denver, there's Boulder Ski Deals in Boulder. If you're coming up to Summit County, also check out Gravity in Copper. Let's see, there's Radio down in Aspen. And if you're going to Steamboat or Winter Park, swing into the Powder Tools there. So they all have great selections. Let's see. Preston, just ordered a Signal Platinum Park. Have you ridden any yet? I haven't. I've got to email their guy today or tomorrow and see. Just with them doing the subscription base, they kind of distribute a little differently, so they can do it. But Signal's been crushing it the last 3 years. Like the whole overhaul in how they do boards has been phenomenal. And as a brand, I think that they're actually stronger now than they were at the height of the every third Thursday movement. So yeah. Chase Boater, what's the call-in sick story to tell your boss? Infected toenail. Infected toenail. No one's going to question it, and no one's ever going to want to look at it. So infected toenail, that's something, and you don't, it's not something they're going to see because you're at work with shoes on. So you call in infected toenail or ingrown toenail removal, something like that, just saying that you're not, it's painful, you got to keep your foot elevated, blah, blah, blah. You're fucking covered. That's the best one ever. Daniela Kachivas, your thoughts on Super DOA and the hype? I have one ordered. Well, the DOA was a hyped board. I figured the Super DOA would be hyped. I haven't actually seen one in person yet. A lot of the shops around here haven't gotten them yet. I haven't been on one. I know I will be getting on one sometime after the 7th or 8th of next month. So I'm going to try to get out and ride it. I'm kind of curious how that spooned nose with the 3D shaping actually rides, but as far as hype, it's the DOA is always a board that Capita just puts a lot of marketing behind, and it's pretty funny because a lot of the riders actually ride the Outsiders over the DOA, but the DOA is their best-selling board. So, yeah. Let's see what we got here. Water Bottle, isn't every third Thursday supposed to be coming back? I believe that it is. Nick Bergaker with the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Signal snowboards? Icy Hills here in Michigan. Love the vids. So you actually just missed me talking about those, but if you actually scroll back in this, you'll be able to catch me. But I haven't been on any of the new stuff with them yet. There's 5 or 6 boards I really want to get on with them, and I need to do a deeper dive and kind of just understand some of the technology that's going on there. Supposedly, they were going to send me stuff. I haven't followed up with them, but when I do, they will. I know Michigan is icy, so what you're going to probably want is something with more like a traditional camber, and depending where you're riding, whether it's the UP or you're down in the actual mitten area there, it could dictate whether you want to get something more freestyle or all mountain. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, but I will be trying to get on some in November. And if I can, expect the reviews before the end of the year. So yeah. All right. Maxim Boucher. Hi, Avran. Question about board sizes. A friend is like 2 meters, 60 kilograms following weight charts. He'll need a 154 centimeter board. But what about his 2 meters height? Seems really small for him. You got to go over weight, man. It's always weight over height. You got to think that the physics of a snowboard, you're putting a downward weighted pressure on the board. The board has no clue how much height the person has. They know how much weight is coming down. The only thing that height plays into is your stance. So 2 meters, I mean, I also don't know how to convert that. I'm American and I'm lazy and I don't feel like Googling it. But yeah, I really wouldn't worry about height. So there. Let's see. Brian Minkle, is the Headspace overrated or legit? Cop the 2018 version this summer, super cheap. No, it's a good board. I mean, it's not the most mind-blowing thing I've been on, but it's a solid board. It does what it needs to do. It does it well. I've ridden better boards. The thing is, it's a Mervin-made board, and so they use a little more epoxy in there, so it's a little more damp. It's a little bit heavier. It doesn't have as much liveliness as other boards, but it's a good board. So, yeah. Fizzled. 1, should there be any concern if I have 1.5 inches of toe and heel overhang on my bindings? I have the right size according to the size chart for my boot size. Everything is centered also. 2, the instructions also say that I should have only 3 to 5 teeth showing on the letters, and I have about 8. That sounds like it does not fit at all. That sounds like, I mean, you're talking like about that much on your toe and heel. The big thing is put the boot in the binding on the board and roll it from edge to edge and see how far over you have to go before the toe and the heel hit on the ground. That'll give you a kind of an idea of how much you can leverage that board to get it over, but that really sounds like a lot, man. Jason Nick 85. Now Skate Tech versus K2 Lean Pods versus Solomon Shadow Fit review and comparison by you and Kevin. Make it happen. Oh, it's happening. You're going to get I rode all the Shadow Fit bindings. I rode all the new Now bindings, and Kevin rode the new Lean. So you're going to get reviews probably starting second week in November. I got about 30 to 35 of them sitting right over here on this computer that I haven't started timelining, but once I timeline them, then editing gets a lot quicker, and hopefully I'll have them done this weekend. So yeah. Yeah, so hopefully that answers that question. Shadow Fox 546. I know you have historically been a fan of the Rome Cross Rocket, but is that because you don't like spoon bases, or is that particular shape profile? It's the fucking profile from that board from Rome. I fucking hate that thing. They put it's a diamond shape. So if you actually flip the board over and look at it, it's a diamond shape of flatness, and the way the cutout is at the diamond apex at the sides, so like right down here is the sides of it, like right. So the way that is it comes too far back, and you lose that contact point edge bite, which makes it too loose because there's too much degree of a bevel on it. I mean, there's a reason that board is not in their lineup anymore. So the board fucking sucks. So yeah. Rob Gams, Avran, does having wear marks on the inside of your high backs where they touch the heel cup indicate your stance is too wide? No, not necessarily. It could be your straps are too loose and the boot is moving around in there. Because I assume that's what you're talking about is the wear marks on the boot. Or are you talking about like the inside of the high back where it moves with the heel cup? That's normal. It's just normal wear and tear. Now, if it's like shaving it off, then maybe, but stance width shouldn't be an issue with that. More than anything, it should be how the boot is actually sitting there. It might be too big of a boot, like too wide, and the boot's putting too much outer pressure on it. It could be a few things. So there you go. Chase Boater, speaking of Rome, I've seen you reviewed the Blackjack. Is that your favorite in the lineup? P.S. Great call-in story. So it's my favorite skate style board from them. Like I prefer it over the Gangplank and the Buckshot. Like it fits my style more for what I want out of a board. But if we're really going with favorite board from Rome, it's probably the mod overall. Oh, we got Alan Russell in here. Good morning, Avran. Are you able to sustain with all the wall construction in Colorado? How does this affect cost of living, and what are we going to do about custody of Kevin? So, in case no one knows, the United States president said they're building a wall around Colorado to keep the Mexicans out because evidently we share a border with Mexico. I think he's afraid of New Mexico, or he doesn't know that there's such a thing as New Mexico. And so there's a wall being constructed. I've been having a field day with this thing. But yes, the wall, the noise is deafening. Cost of living is going up. Supplies are running low. Might have to eat Kevin. Sorry about custody. So, yeah. Grant Christopher, I've got a Mercury as a Quiver of 1. Is it worth getting a dedicated park board? If so, a simulator versus Twin Pig. That's up to you. Honestly, I wouldn't. If anything, if you've only got that one board, what I would do instead is go get like a Super Pig or a War Pig or something like a party board, like a K2 party platter, a volume shifted board, something you can go ride around in the spring, in the slush. If you want to take it out on low angle POW days, rip around in trees, that's what I would do. But to get the assimilator or the Twin Pig when you've already got a Mercury, that's a little too much overlap, in my opinion. Jay Weiland with a $3 super chat. 6'2", 190 pounds, 11.5 boot, rad dad, hard charger. Want more flex for my custom X. In between Captain Mercury, ride Super Pig. Really looking for versatility. Which would you go with? The Mercury will be the most versatile one. So you can start the day chasing POW at the top of the mountain, rip the trees in the mid-mountain, catch the park at the middle of the day, end of the day, and go ride slush. The Super Pig will be more Freeride oriented. You can still go in the park and fuck around if you need to, but it's not going to be as balanced as the Mercury. Between the two great boards. Plus the Super Pig is also like what I call a medium volume shift, so it's not like you drastically size down on it, but that would be what would be one of those ones where if you're more free ride focused, but you occasionally go in the park, I'd probably go Super Pig, especially if you're in a spot where you're getting into more tighter trees and you want more POW float at lower angle. That's where it would stick out. So Shadowfox546, when's the next time we can buy some Angry Snowboarder merchandise? I want to support you guys and promote the organization. Actually, when I get done with the super chat or with this live stream, I've got to go talk to my guy JP down in Denver. I know a lot of you guys have really liked that varsity zip-up hoodie I have, and there's a coach's jacket that you guys haven't seen yet. We're going to finalize that, which takes, after finalization, it's about a week, and then it's 2 weeks for production. So they should be here in time for Black Friday, which I will do a Black Friday sale. And it's going to be a very limited run, 2 sweatshirts. So you'll have 2 different colorways of the varsity zip hoodie. And then there'll be 2 coaches' jackets. And that's probably going to be it. But they will ship in time for Christmas so that everyone can get them on there. So we will we'll hopefully have that done. I'll know more probably by next week. Like there was some stuff with sampling that I wasn't totally stoked on. So we got to kind of go back to the drawing board and just tweak it. I want better quality. Like my goal is to just consistently make the quality better. So like if you had some of the first run merchandise to the last run that we did, you'll notice that the t-shirt quality and stuff, like I've been educating myself on manufacturers and stuff, and it's little things that after I produce them, I suddenly catch, and I'm like, oh shit, this should have had like an extra stitch in it here or this or that. So I constantly have to go back and reevaluate that. But definitely there will be merchandise. Also, I think next week I'll be restocking the sticker store. I'll be bringing back the Snowboarding Culture's Not Dead, slap sticker envelopes. So there'll be more stickers coming out for that. So that hopefully that helps you with what you're looking for. Let's see what else we got going on here. D-Rick, hey, Avran, what would you recommend as all-mountain freeride board? Thinking of Super Pig, overboard, simple pleasures, size 13 boots, no park ambitions. If you're like really want to turn and hard charge and carve, overboard first. If you're doing those big swoopy Japan style carves, why the fuck are people sending me text messages? So big swoopy carves, stuff like that. You can see Kevin ride it in the new Kevin Carve It that came out today. He's also done a review. The review to that will be linked at the end of that video. That's if you want like a Japan style carver, but that's only comes in one size. Otherwise, the Simple Pleasure is a really good ripper for carves and whatnot. I mean, you can really drive a carve. The Super Pig will be the softest one. So in terms of flex, it's Simple Pleasure's overboard. They're close, but because of the size differences in the two, I'd probably say the overboard is technically stiffer just due to the length, but it doesn't ride that way. The Simple Pleasures will feel it. Then the Super Pig will be softer. So if you're really looking for like that free ride, also don't rule out the Ride Mountain Pig as well. So it's kind of the big brother to the Super Pig. It's a little stiffer, a little more hard charging free ride. So I mean, if you have no park aspirations at all and you want to really charge, that's where I would go with it. So let's see. What else we got going here? Scundo P, I'm currently riding a Rome Mod Rocker 156, but looking to upgrade eventually, and they discontinued the rocker. Any recommendations for other boards? Well, kind of depends what you want out of it. I mean, if you're looking for something similar, you could always check out the Assassin or Assassin Pro from Solomon. That would be pretty comparable, in my opinion, towards the Mod Rocker. Let's see what else is out there. If you could always go to the Mod Camber if you wanted to go a little more aggressive and have more snap as well. Let's see what else is out there. The Nidecker Pro Pipe. That's a really good one too as well. It's cam rocker. The Yes Typo would be on there. Or the Jackpot. Probably the Jackpot more than the Typo. That would fit more in tune with that. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else that Mod Rocker. I really liked that Mod Rocker. I was upset when they got rid of that too because that's such a good board. Oh, fuck. Because that's flat to rocker. You might like the K2 Bottle Rocket as well. That would probably be one that you could consider. Let's see. Chuck Van, any more tips for sorting boot funk? Tried the freezing thing. Could hear wolves howling when I took them out. Fire. You could always burn your boots. The other thing you can do is take the liners out of the boot and hand wash them in the shower, like fill up the bathtub. Use a soap solution with a little bit of baking soda in there. That'll help remove it. Then let them air dry. It takes about a day to two to really let them air dry. In the meantime, when the liner is out of the shell, spray it down with like Lysol, then wipe it down and let it air out as well, because that's a lot of, you get like a trapped mildew in between the liner and the shell, and sometimes that's where funk comes from as well. So yeah, let's see what else we got going here. Let's see what's going on. I think I missed one. Did I miss anything up here? Shabashily. Hey, Avran, will Kevin ever let Alan B. Russell make a skin suit out of him? What do we need to do to make Alan's dreams come true? Chloroform, duct tape, rope, a gag, maybe just a morphine drip once he's blacked out so you can make him really weak. And I think that Kevin is actually legitimately scared to go to Utah now. Like, legitimately scared. So let's see what else is going on. Ian Sutcliffe. I once recommended rotational bindings to this old-ass guy who could shred but could barely stand up in line without using the rail for support. Am I completely retarded? Well, at least you didn't recommend a pole for him. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with that guy. He could be old and geriatric. He could have all sorts of hip problems. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know. I've got a friend that cannot strap in standing up at all to save his life. Like 35 years of snowboarding, he still sits down. I have no clue what the fuck is going on. So, yeah. Let's see what we got going on here. Sarajevo Flips. Hey, Avran, I'm looking for a Quiver of one, a bit more park and freestyle oriented, but still want some pow. Love your videos. Keep it up. We need more channels like you. Okay. You want one board that can do it all? Go grab the Ride algorithm. I mean, that is going to be like the most underrated Quiver of one board, in my opinion. The price point on it's perfect. You got a very minimal setback on it. It's basically cam rocker. It's going to do what you need it to do. It's going to crush it. Yeah. So there you go. You should be fine. Brett Churchill, design me the worst snowboard ever, i.e. twin ASIM swallow. No, what you need to do is go look up the Cheetah Sports F1 something something, or the F1 Cheetah. They renamed it, but it is a carbon fiber snowboard from Japan with a built-in riser in it with a section missing out of the middle. I saw it in person and I asked him, I was like, so how's this thing ride powder? They're like, it does not ride powder. I was like, how's this thing do on groomer? Oh, and that channel has an inset edge in it too. So you've got an inside edge and an outside edge, which is super weird. That is by far the single-handedly, and it had a price tag of like $1,700 too. So yeah. There we go. Let's see what's going on. Flare Blitz. Hey, I'm looking to replace my broken Capita Black Snowboard to Death 2018. Thoughts on a similar riding directional POW all mountain freeride board? Well, you could get the new Capita Black Snowboard to Death, but I think they changed it since 2018. I think there was a tweak in it. Otherwise, Jones Flagship. That's a really good one. Ride Berserker, but just disregard my review on the Berserker for the 2021. I got to re-ride that. They're supposed to send me another one to see how that rides, but disregard that one. But the Berserker, K2 Manifest as well, maybe would be one, if not the K2 Broadcast. You could do a Yes Pick Your Line as well. So hopefully that gives you a few more options. Merlin Boogard. Hi, Avran. After a lot of research, I've kind of settled on the Yes Basic for my first snowboard. I'm looking at a secondhand model from 2015-16. Is there much difference between the 19-20 model? Thanks. Yes. So that was 2 different factories ago. That Basic, I don't think that was the one that had that was prone to having the sidewall blow out on it, though. But the flex will be different on it. The camber profile is slightly, like they claim it's the same camber profile, but I believe that the camber zone is actually slightly shorter in it, so you get a more rocker, but it will still be a good first board for you, so snag it. It's just going to ride different. Actually, I believe I do have a review of that one on angrysnowboarder.com. It's only a written review, not a video review, so if you get a chance, swing on over there. Just look up Yes Basic, and it should pull up every review in the search box and go from there. Demeter, are there any underground snowboard brands worth buying? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Dinosaurs Will Die, Telos. Let's see. United Shapes is another good one. Lago makes a really great board. I really want to try out that new Borealis brand from France. I think they're French, but whatever. They're coming out of GP87. Those are really solid. If you want like a Freeride surfer board, Stranded Snowboards is really cool as well. I like what Stone Snowboards is doing as well, even though they sent me some prototype boards that were kind of janky. I know that their quality is there. Like construction-wise, the boards were good. It's just like they sent me something that wasn't a finalized one. But there's a lot of great little brands out there. Marhar is another one that I can think of off the top of my head. But there's good little brands out there for sure. Are you guys bidding on Kevin again? Stop bidding on Kevin. Mike Vargas, what profile would you recommend for kids just coming off of Reynolds to be able to progress in both park and all over the mountain? Is there brands to stay away from ages 10 to 15? Stay away from full camber for a kid. I hate to say that, but like I find that most kids just don't know how to control true traditional camber. Burton makes a lot of great boards for tweeners and then in between, but even Rome has some stuff. Like they have the mini gang plank, and I think there's a mini buckshot now too as well. Like that's super solid. Let's see what else. K2 has some stuff. Ride, Rosinal. Basically you just want they're coming from a rental, so you want a forgiving board, minimal camber in it. If possible, the contact points are a little bit elevated, and that'll help them build up their confidence because they don't have the muscle memory or the idea of how to actually steer from their ankles. So they're doing a lot of like upper body, waist, and hip movements versus knee and ankle movements. But yeah, there's definitely that. Oh, let's see what we got in here. Slay J, I've been riding over 30 years, never been on a noodle. What's your favorite, most functional park noodle out there? Old or new? Draft Salamander. Thank you, man. You rock. Actually, my favorite is probably the new DC PBJ with camber, if not the DC Ply. Like, it's a little bit, or the interior plane Project Haro. Like, what I like about like those noodle boards, as long as they have camber, is you can manhandle them how you want, but you're not feeling that load of camber in your knees all day. So it becomes very easy to manipulate it on. Even the artifact camber is good too as well. And just one that's not camber throughout, the Rome Blackjack. I'm going to throw that one in the mix as well. Oh, let's see what's going on. Ian the Welshman, Avran, a friend got drunk last weekend and bought a 2006-ish Wild Duck Lost Generation board. Is he going to die? I have no clue what the fuck that brand even is. I've heard of it, but I've never seen one before. Is he going to die? I don't know. Maybe. No. I mean, technically, we're all going to die. I'm dying right now by the minute. Every minute I'm answering your questions, I'm getting one step closer to death, if you think about it. Not getting any younger, and I'm not getting any healthier. So, yes, he's going to die. Let's see. Epic Remedy. Heavy yes standard. Looking at a Super Pig. Are they too similar? No. They're close, but they're not too similar. The Super Pig is more directional, more volume shifted. You can downsize on it. It's more of a party board. There is going to be definite overlap in them, but I feel like you would use the standard more like steeper angle, wide open, ripping groomers as you get around the whole mountain. Like if you're only going to have one board, but the conditions are kind of so-so, that. But if it's like a powder day in the morning and then it's going to be like soft and slushy or like firm and crunchy in the end of the day, that's where the Super Pig, I think, would come in. Let's see. Oh, I think I got another one here. Oh my God. We got Meek and Zalon in here. That man lived on my couch once. Thoughts on Capita DOA, Never Summer Ripsar, Libtech, Skunk Ape. I want to have fun free riding trails, thoughts on the decks, and binding compliment. DOA you don't want. You're too big of a boy. Ripsaw, that profile's meh. I wouldn't. Here's what I would do, big guy. Bypass the Skunk Ape. Get the Stump Ape. Because now that you're back on the East Coast, you're going to need something that's still ultra wide because you got those fucking behemoth feet because you were like a professional football player or some shit. And so go with the Stump Ape. You can get, you even at your weight could probably even still get away with the 57 in it, and that'll be good for getting into the trees, especially up in New Hampshire, Vermont, like that area as well. But you're gonna be able to lay it over and carve, really drive with that board if you want to. And then for bindings for you, the new K2 Lean AT, keep the heel pod in because you're a heavier guy. That would be really solid for you, I think. Otherwise, maybe, just maybe, you might like one of the now bindings. I would say something like the Drive because you're a little bit heavier. So, yeah, hopefully that answers your question, big guy. Let's see. BTC next. Bought my first snowboard and season pass last year. Got new carbon credit 150. Got the Orca 147 with Felcars and photon boots for this year. Looking for one more board. What am I missing? Okay, so you got an Orca. You got a carbon credit. Realistically, you're not missing too much there. The only thing that I could say is maybe something like a Newzoid or a Battalion Carver or something for like hard charging carving. That would be like the only thing I could. But realistically, with those two, you're in your second year of riding, I think you're set. Like, honestly, wouldn't buy anything new. Take the money you would have spent on a new snowboard, buy another season pass to another resort, and that way you cover all your bases and ride more or go on a trip. So hopefully that answers that question. Let's see. Maxime Boucher, what is the worst board you ever rode like you were going to die? if we're talking 2020 boards, like right now, worst thing, it was that Solstick Pocket Rocket, which came out of Montreal. I think that's where they're built, like somewhere up there in Quebec. But that was the hardest riding board I've ever been on. So I went up the Super B lift at Copper, and I wanted to go out, traverse over and do the long traverse and get out to Union Creek. So it was like 2 miles of cat tracks and trees and stuff. You had to throw all your weight into the front foot of that board to dig in the edge, and then instantly push all your weight back onto the tail to get it to ride. It was the sketchiest fucking thing I ever rode. And then I made Kevin ride it for Can Kevin Carve It. And that wait till you guys get that episode. That I think that's going to actually probably be the season ender episode. And if not, it'll be like the second to the last. But fuck that board. So yeah. BTC Nick with the super chat. Thanks, bud. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what's going on here. Barry Kennedy, you mentioned in a previous stream that Vail Resorts is cutting down on parks. Can you expand on that? I answered that in like last time. So Vail is pulling all their big parks out of their resorts. They're eliminating them. Their goal is to make everything so that a never ever could go in there and not die, basically. And it's a multi-year phase thing, and they're slowly phasing them out. Like they got rid of Freeway and the 22-foot super pipe here at Breck. North Star has already had it. Keystone, they've cut down on the park over there. This is just what they're doing. They want to be the fucking Disneyland of snowboard ski resorts. That's it. So yeah, there you go. Let's see what's going on. Epic Remedy, I'm coming to Colorado for a quick 4-day trip. Which resort would you recommend? And can I meet you and Kev out there, you angry bastard? No, you cannot meet us out there. You might see us out there. Do not engage. Do not talk. Do not make eye contact. Do not go within 100-foot radius of us. No, I'm joking. Depends when you're coming. If you're coming right now, you're limited. Breckenridge might open next weekend, though. They might open a week early. Otherwise, everything's going to start opening about the 7th, 8th. Around here through the 15th of November. Personally, I mean, if you're doing a quick 4-day trip and you want to get the most out of something, if you're timing it when like a lot of stuff's open and you don't want to deal with lines, I'd say Aspen is really good. Or if you look at where the snow's going before you like fully commit to something, like you can usually check out opensnow.com. Jill Gratz has a really good snow report and everything for what's going on. And he usually does a 10 to 12 day outlook. So check that, check NOAA, and see where the snow looks like it's going to hit, because you want to make sure that you hit it with the right amount of snow, because if you don't, it's going to be fucking miserable. So yeah. Let's see. EarthCirc 52 just picked up Rome Arsenal bindings. Do you have any thoughts on aluminum hardware versus plastic nylon? Not sure what the composites are made of. I assume you're not talking the actual like mounting hardware, because that's just steel. If you're talking about like the mix, so I'm switching from a full composite binding, which was nylon plastic injection K2, and I'm going to Rome black labeled. So I'm getting a metal heel cup again and a composite base. Each one has its pros and cons. So like if you get a unibody plastic composite binding nylon, it flexes more evenly and uniform with the boot versus a 2-part construction, which is metal and the plastic, because then you get these flex points. So where the base will flex more, but the heel remains a little more rigid. And then the high back, depending what it is, will flex more. And then if you do like a ride where it's all aluminum, you feel more vibrations. It's a little more rigid and everything. And it doesn't have that rebound if it over flexes. So you can bend the binding. So there's kind of that. B. Kelvy got a Mind Expander, a Brian Iguchi camber, a Huck Knife Pro, and a Rome Artifact flat. What am I missing? The only thing you are missing is a party board in that mix, like full-blown party board. I'm talking slush slasher, something like low 140s, low to mid 140s, you know, a Rosnell Sushi, a Telos Backslush, K2 Party Platter, something like that. That's the only thing you're missing. Let's see. Chico Dirguch, thoughts on the Hood Summit to Timberline expansion gondola makes a 45,000 low angle vertical descent.
I didn't even know they were putting a gondola in. I thought that was all just a rumor. I mean, I remember when they projected that like 15 years ago. I thought they didn't want to do it because it's still an active volcano and they weren't sure about lava flows. I mean, if they put it in, good for them. Is it really going to change the tourism of Hood? No, it's still not a destination resort. So I don't really think that makes too much sense for them to put that in realistically. So, let's see what else we got going on here. Asante Easter. What's up, Avran? I'm trying to decide between the Headspace 155 wide and the Twin Pig 156 wide or 157. I'm nervous. I'll boot out on Headspace. I have a size 14. Oh, Jesus, you got a big fucking boot there, bud. You probably actually will boot out on that Headspace 55. But the Twin Pig is, if I remember correctly, I believe the 56 is a little bit wider. But with a size 14, if you know what you should look at, if you were looking at the Headspace, check out the Marhar Lumberjack X. You can order them direct from them too. That thing will fit a size 14. No questions asked. I'm pretty sure it'll fit a 16, no questions asked. So you might like the Marhar Lumberjack X, which is the cambered Lumberjack. And if you wanted something a little more playful, you could get the regular Lumberjack because that's the flat to rocker as well. So that would be my suggestion with that size 14 because just based on the boards you're talking about too. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Michael Kulik, Avran, do you think full-size discs are being phased out for the mini disc? Not a big fan of the mini disc, but it looks like that's the way the industry is moving. I don't think it's being phased out. What we're seeing is a trickle-down effect. So what typically happens is when new stuff comes out, because molds cost so much, they trickle down the old mold to a lower model. And so I'm seeing a lot of brands like putting bigger discs in older bindings or like lower end bindings, stuff that's been in the line a while. So it trickles down and something new comes out. I don't necessarily think we're seeing them phase out. I do think that like jumbo discs that are like this big are starting to get replaced to ones that are about that big. I was actually looking at my new black labels that showed up the other day, and I was like, this isn't a real mini disc. It's not like a true mini disc because I've definitely had ones that were like that big around. And I'm like, holy shit, this isn't that. But I think right now everyone's trying to work on that whole dead spot underfoot, and we'll see. Everything shifts. Like eventually, who knows? We could just come right back around to just having full size discs again. So yeah. Vicky Teo, hey Avran, which would be better for riding powder in Japan through trees and carving on groomers? The Super Pig or a Gucci Pro Camber? That's tough question there. They're both equally good at what you're looking for. Me personally, I'm a Super Pig guy, but Kevin was an Gucci Pro Camber guy. It kind of depends on what you want. Like, I feel the Super Pig has more torsional flex in it than the Gucci Pro Camber. So for me, I like a lot of torsional flex when I carve, so I can get right off the back foot and elevate the front. And if you don't like that, that would be the Gucci Pro Camber. So hopefully that answers that question. Fizzled, what board is really good for mowing over the crud, muck, chop, and rutted out terrain? 190 weight, size 9.5 boot. Anything that's American made. So your Never Summers, anything that's going to just dampen that ride. Anything that's got a lot of epoxy in it, a lot of fiberglass, thicker core, it's going to do it. So a Mervin, a Never Summer, a Marhar even, those types of things. I mean, if you really wanted like a Freeride board that's going to plow through it, the new Billy Goat for sure would be like top of my choice. So yeah. Dan Kelly, do you know any channels that do good reviews on women's gear? Do you have any plans to do women's gear reviews in the future? There are none. There is no hope for women right now. I fucking God's honest truth. There is no woman out there that is doing anything good for women's snowboard reviews. It's fucking garbage. And it pisses me the fuck off. And I want to get into women's reviews. It's something we've talked about, but I need to find the right person and everything needs to be done right. Like I need to hire someone. And this is something that I'm working on is we're going to be relaunching Angry Snowboarder VIP with an upgrade to it and like kind of breaking down what we're trying to do as we progress forward. And I want to be able to hire a woman's editor, content creator, and part of their job would be women's review. I find that most women on me and light my way with the fire. I don't give a fuck, but most people won't do that, and women especially won't do that. What I do have in the works is a bunch of women's top fives. So like top 5 women's beginner board, top 5 women's all mountain, top 5 women's POW. I'm going to go through it. I'm basing a lot of it off how the men's boards rode and like what shapes translate over to the women's, and what are the sisters of the guys' versions and whatnot. But that is coming. That is something that I'm slowly working on there. Let's see. Thomas L., love my pink spam and thinking of getting a party platter based on your review. Can you please say some words about how they compare? Cheers, Thomas from Sweden. Okay, so in comparison, they're both party boards. You got that going.